Hello all, welcome to Tech and Travel. We recently had the chance to take a ride on the latest autonomous bus here in Singapore. As part of a 3-month commercial and engineering trial at the Singapore Science Park, we took a ride on this autonomous bus. Let's get straight into it. So in this video, we look at 5 different things. 1. A short overview of the route that this bus took. 2. Our experience of autonomous driving. 3. The sensors and the technology used in this bus. 4. The levels of autonomous driving and where does this bus rate along with other experiments in the world. And 5. Our overall verdict and where do we go from here. So this bus is essentially run in Western Singapore near Haw Par Villa. It takes a loop around there with the green part of the route in autonomous mode and then the busier side of the road in blue in manual mode helped by the driver. From the boarding point at the Haw Par Villa, the bus starts off in manual mode with the bus driver driving it as there are signals and traffic around. So let's fast forward this part. Let's go directly into the autonomous driving stage. So let's get started off with the autonomous mode. Here from the stop, we start with the autonomous mode. As you can see, the bus starts on its own as soon as the lever is pulled. And here we are for the very first time in our lives in autonomous mode. The driver has taken his hands off. Obviously, the steering as well as the entire braking and acceleration is being managed all automatically by the bus. Yeah, it's pretty clear. This bus is very comfortable navigating on its own without any effort, guidance or input from the driver, all on its own in rather empty places. Now we're back in the manual mode. Again, we'll do a quick time lapse and the bus goes back to its original spot where it picked us up near Haw Par Villa. So let's go through quickly the sensors and the technology that make this autonomous bus run on its own. So you can see there are 3 sets of cameras right at the bottom. There's a very big radar on the top and multiple cameras all across, not just in the front but on all sides of the bus. The first camera here underneath there is a Lidar, and Lidar is a term you might have heard in how iPhone 12 takes photography. Now, leaving photography aside, Lidar is a very important technology to get the depth and the 3D view of distances from a given point, and therefore Lidar is critical in autonomous driving. Likewise, there's a radar there which is also below, and this radar is also useful in getting obstacles in. Right on top we have cameras and the entire equipment which is used for navigation. Beyond the cameras in front, you can see there are a range of cameras here on the side, on the left bottom, plus a camera on the top on the left hand side, and then a couple of cameras on the side body as well as at the rear. The main point is that with all these cameras combined, one must be in a position to get a complete 360-degree view without any blind spots. Now, as we have various autonomous automobiles around the world, it's important to have a clear definition of what are we looking at. There are 6 levels of automobiles today. In the blue there, these are assisted, they just help the driver, and on the right hand side in green are the automated ones, which really qualify for being autonomous vehicles. So on the extreme left, we have the level 0, which essentially implies no automation. And these are cars we've all lived with for the last few decades. These are cars that have some sort of cruise control in them, but that's not called as automation. Next is the level 1 automation, which essentially comprises of some kind of assistance provided to the driver. And it could be in form of either adaptive cruise control, which helps control the speed at which the car goes, or the lane assist, which helps to essentially control the steering of the car, but not both cruise control and lane assist together. It's either or the parking assist. You go a level forward from here. Level 2 is what is known as partial automation / hands off, where the driver has the opportunity to take the hands off but still needs to be in complete control of the vehicle. Here you have automated systems that work both on the steering as well as on the acceleration and braking. Now moving to level 3, which is the first stage of automated vehicles. Here both the steering as well as the acceleration and braking is controlled completely by the vehicle, and in certain conditions it can drive the vehicle autonomously. Now what's the difference here? Essentially you might have heard of features like traffic jam pilot or traffic jam assist. These are in level 3. Next comes level 4, where you get much closer to fully autonomous, where the vehicle can go on its own. The driver can have his or her hands, eyes and mind off the vehicle completely, and within certain routes and conditions the vehicle is able to manage and navigate through. And then finally on the extreme right is full automation, where it is autonomous everywhere in all conditions, be it snow, be it rain, or be it just be a bright sunshine day, be it the very first time that the vehicle is visiting that location, it would just drive as the humans do. And in such vehicles there is no need to have steering or pedals. Now as you can see, the thing on the extreme right, level 5, is something that we wish for and we are working towards, but most of the projects today are somewhere between level 2 and level 4. Now having looked at how the autonomous levels of vehicles are defined globally, question is, where does this autonomous bus at Science Park? In which stage of the evolution is this bus at Science Park? My sense is it's between level 3 and level 4, because on certain specific routes, on pre-programmed roads, it could drive on its own, it could determine obstacles, it could go behind that, and the driver for a short period of time had his or her hands, eyes off, but never the mind off. And therefore to me, this is a case of possibly something between level 3 and level 4, arguably closer to level 3 than level 4. So overall, considering everything, it's a good start for Singapore. Recently, Singapore was ranked number 1 in terms of automotive vehicle readiness, a new index that has been rolled out by KPMG. And clearly, there are countries which are much larger. China, US are certainly much ahead here, but Singapore has the room to catch up. Now, having understood the various levels out there from level 0 to level 5, it is very clear that we ought to be in level 4, if not level 5, before we can term autonomous vehicles as a success. And therefore, that's what we should gun towards. Also, the pilot at Science Park here has sorted out all its hardware. The Lidar works beautifully, so does the radar, all the 360 cameras. So from a hardware perspective, they are right there among the world's best. Now coming to how do we really step it up and take it to level 4 and eventually to level 5, there has to be a lot of work that has to go behind stepping up AI here, artificial intelligence, so that there is better understanding of the objects. You can classify objects, you can distinguish a small kid versus a pillar. There's a greater need to understand traffic lights, which I believe is work in progress at this point in time. The bus eventually should be able to go through intersections. It should be able to operate at higher speed than the 25-kilometer limit imposed right now. And I guess eventually, before we get to level 4 and possibly to level 5, what is required is to go through thousands of kilometers, if not in low millions, to really have encountered every situation that you would expect a human driver to encounter while driving, and learn from it and optimize your algorithms to deal with all situations. Lastly, beyond the AI required, there's a need to refine the accelerator and braking controls on the vehicle with the objective of making the ride smoother while keeping safety intact. For more such unbiased reviews and for the latest on tech and travel, subscribe to our channel Tech and Travel.